Okay, let's do this dance, folksy folks. Hello, hello, hi, gigpreneur. What's going on? I am Sean Azimi, and I help folks create a little side income using social media. And if you're open to taking a look at that, you can go to sidegigshawn.com and answer a couple questions, and I'll get right back to you. Let's go tonight. What a fight! Not. I wish I could have come on and say, what a fight, but it wasn't like that. I want to kind of share a couple of thoughts about what we learned from the Mike Tyson and what's his face, Paul's Paul's fight, right? Oh my goodness, I totally blanked on his first name. And if you haven't watched the fight, there may be a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the Logan fight with Mike Tyson, Paul Logan, that's what I meant. Shorty 15, Chris Hodge. What a cool. You guys on TikTok, some of you have the coolest like usernames. But some of you have like the, wait, I cannot call those. Usernames up. Laura, how are you? And Barbara Sale joined. That is interesting. KCR Rats Mitch. If you're joining me live, let me know where you're coming in from. It'd be kind of neat to know. Hey, I wore my Rocky because of the fight tonight, right? I mean, got Rocky in the background. You got Rocky. Yeah. You can tell I'm a Rocky fan. If you don't know now, you know. Shane, what is good? I'm from Southern California, and starting to get a little chilly out here. Let's get into the fight tonight. By the way, if you haven't watched the Logan Tyson fight, that was tonight. That is awesome. What's up from us Italianos up in the Bronx? What is up, Joe? 4 pieces. And then the 4. I get it. Did you watch the fight? If you haven't watched the fight, this is a spoiler alert. I'm going to tell you, legal superhero, what up? What's going on, Angela? CC. So, Moonbeam. You did. Okay. Oh, good. So I wish I had some amazing stuff to say about. Oh my God, he just it wasn't like that. Let's talk about some of the stuff about the fight. First thing first, let's talk about the buildup, the hype, right? I mean, we got a young 27-year-old YouTuber that, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I'll be sure to follow back. Yeah, for sure. You know what? I'll get to that. 27-year-old challenging. I don't know if it's the right word. Challenging a 58-year-old. And that's kind of the whole story. But the hype was amazing because one is a YouTuber, self-proclaimed, coming up, just really strategically picking up his fights so he can make the money and keep winning, if you would. And he's very, very, his crew, his team, his manager, very, very smart in how they pick their fights. But so the hype was amazing. Like, this is a 27-year-old YouTuber. He's going to fight a legend, a 57-year-old coming back, Iron Mike Tyson, the legend, all this stuff. Age is just a number. And you see all the hype and you see the training film. I don't know if you ever watched, but if you see some of the training footage, it was about the envelope. Yeah, for sure. It was a money fight to get paid. I'll talk about the pay too, as much as I know, how much they got paid, but so you got this all hype, right? And then the marketing at one point kind of just throws it at you where they say, "Oh, Mike Tyson can't may not be able to fight because he's had an accident, he's had this, he's had that, maybe health wise." So they're just hyping it up even more. Of course, he comes on and says, "No, I'm still fighting. Right? Change the date. I'm still fighting." So he comes in, and the hype, was it for real? Was the hype for real? Well, personally, that's my opinion. I don't think it stood up to the hype, right? I mean, it didn't really, as a fight fan, it really didn't stand up to the fight. But I'll give you a couple of thoughts I have. This is like, even Sylvester Stallone, he compared this fight to his, Rocky film. And my kids watching with me and taking it all right. Oh, it was fun. Yeah, yeah. Just stick around, Joe. I got a couple of thoughts I want to share with you and see what you thought. But even Sly was comparing this to his, that movie Rocky, if you would, where he's an old man and he comes back and challenges a young champion, right? And it was kind of like that, right? Except this was like real life. The guy is like real, right? It's not a movie. So I don't know that it didn't really live up to the hype for me as a fight fan. Now, here's the thing: most that I know of, most Tyson fans, right? They were mostly counting on hope than reality. Let's be truthful, right? All of us who were a Tyson fan, we were just hoping for that one iron, just one punch, good night type of thing. We're even counting the seconds to the eighth round. We're like, yeah, okay, it's over. Everybody like was, really just hoping for that. On the other side, Mike fans still. On the other side, my fans didn't want him to get hurt. They were hoping that Logan doesn't knock the heck out of this guy, Mike. Right? I mean, it's the truth, right? We never want somebody as a legend of a sport get embarrassed and go down like that, right? Dude, I'm 52. When I wake up, I gotta stretch before I get out of bed. Is everything, this guy's 50, 57, fighting in like 8 rounds. That's crazy. I mean, that's just nuts. And he won that. I mean, that's just nuts. I know it was like more of a take it easy kind of a fight thing. Even the interview afterwards with Logan, he said, I didn't want to hurt somebody who didn't want to get hurt, who shouldn't get hurt, right? So I don't know if it really lived up to it. So as a Tyson fan, right, we're hoping for that one punch, and then also we're hoping that Logan doesn't like go nuts, right? On the other side, they're all saying, "Oh, this is just one, right? It's going to be just one fight, and he's gonna knock out a legend and this and that." Well, I'll give you a couple of highlights of the fight. I think Mike Tyson landed 18 punches, whereas Logan, I think, did over. I want to say over. I could be wrong, but I think over 100. And so there was not much of a right that kind of a you're at this edge of your seat, right? Biggest fake fight. That's funny. Well, I don't know if it was a fake fight, but it was definitely. I mean, these guys trained their butts off to get in here and still put on kind of a show. But one thing that I really want to talk about is this, though. This is the important thing that I want to talk about. Personally, I would say that Mike, at this age, you see Mike Tyson working out. That's exactly what, Ronald. That is exactly what I said. I said if you watch some of the full footage of this guy, of both of them, especially Mike's training, you'd be like, "Oh my God, like this." Is Logan gonna live? And then you got the fight and you're like, Um, you could tell though his knee when was not doing like too well, right? You saw that, right? But can we talk about the co-main event real quick? Man, co-main event. Man, oh man! If you haven't seen the co-main, that alone was worth the whole thing, right? True, 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 Ronald. But that co-main event was ridiculous. I do personally believe that she got robbed, totally got robbed. I mean, I was just like, were they watching the same fight? How could they? I mean, I don't know. Totally, in my opinion, totally got robbed. Now, when I say robbed, I don't mean it was a boring, crappy fight and it was just one sided. It wasn't one sided, but it wasn't that like it wasn't like super close where that guy, what's going on in the world when millions of us were watching these fights. But Amanda's eye, right? I mean, all the way to the they did. Right? Netflix blew it up tonight. Netflix blew it up. In fact, the streaming got cut off several times. Several times. They blew out the yeah because Netflix was hurting. Based on some of the decisions they had made politically or whatnot. They lost a lot of subscribers. So this was like a shot of like rejuvenation into them. They just kind of totally. I still streamed it though. I'll be honest. I still didn't do much. But I did watch I'll be truthful. I did watch the main event on Netflix, and it just froze all the time. I'm 60 years old, and honestly, I was let down because I fell for myself. I appreciate that. I understand that. I get that. That that's funny. I was talking to with Joe, and I said I'm 52, and when I get out of bed, I gotta like I was like but it's funny. That co-main, that eye. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who thinks those head bumps, because there were like way more than one, were on purpose. Dirty fighter, right? Dirty fighter. Um, I think so. Maybe after the third, fourth one, you'd be like, is she fighting with her fists or with her head? She comes in with her head first, and then. But here's a one huge takeaway, if I can share with you here, is that Mike Tyson, 57-year-old, really didn't have to do this. Maybe the money is a bit. I mean, okay, so the money I read, he got paid 20 mil, and Logan got paid 40 mil. Okay. Now, I don't know what other deals were in there with Netflix or pay-per-views or anything like that, but that's what I read, 20 and 40. Maybe it was, I mean, it's a nice paycheck, don't get me wrong, but here's what I took away. If you put all the politics and all that stuff away and just kind of get into the raw, is that this guy trained for 7 months. Said 20 and 40 is correct? Okay. For 7 months. This guy trained for, okay, so the year is 12 months, right? He trained for more than half a year for this fight. Okay. That's somebody who's 57 years old, doesn't really need to do this. I mean, he's got enough more money to live, right? I mean, maybe he's not like, rolling, but he's doing all right, right? So this guy comes in, 57 years old, takes this fight seriously, takes this battle seriously, and actually trains for this fight. 7 weeks. You go back and train, I mean, it says 7 months. You go back and watch some of his earlier stuff, compared to like, maybe a month ago, dude. Like this guy was just like he was taking Aunt Kitty, how are you? Kevin, what's good? So this guy took this thing seriously, and this is what I took away, you know. And this is the same thing I kind of took away from the Rocky movie. Sly compared his last movie to this fight, and this is what I took away. Right, this is a guy who's been a fighter all his life. He's had some really rough times in his life, but he's been a fighter all his life, right? I feel like after all these years, this was something for him to do to see if fighting was really meant for him. You know what I mean? Sometimes and when they talked to him about a legacy, and he said, "I don't even know what that is. When I die, I die. We all die. There's no such thing. I don't want to work. I don't want to have that pressure on me that I live for somebody else," which is an interesting viewpoint. We could break that down. But the fact that he comes back after all these years and said, not against like a professional fighter. I mean, this guy is a YouTuber. Let's just say it is what it is, right? He comes in and fights against this guy. I think he comes back and he's because all the interviews and everything, it was just like he's all like, it's just for me. And at the end, they asked him, Ariel asked them, "Hey, what do you think now that you've gone to 8 rounds and the whole world thinks of you as like, man, this guy just went 8 rounds, And he said, "I really don't care what everybody thinks. I just did it for me." I think when you get to that point in life, I think you can kind of just say, you know what, I'm free of anybody's opinion. Doesn't matter to me, won't affect me. I do things to reinforce myself. I thought that was just both like, oh, to the fans, and at the same time, it's just like so powerful, right? Because he's right. There's not much that he needs to prove. He's done a lot. Like as a fan, if you're a boxing fan, you already know, right? There are people watching this fight that are not even a boxing fan. That's the hype, the buildup, the money. They brought attention from people that are not even a fan of the sport. I knew people that are literally never watched the fight, but they're like, Mike Tyson is going to fight today. Do you know that? Right? So for a man to come back after all these years, take this thing seriously, I feel like he did it to say, I just want to check to see, did I do it right all these years? Was I supposed to be a fighter? Do I have that still? And maybe I don't have the instinct, the stamina, the instinct to like kill and like punch through somebody's face to the other planet. But was that meant for me? Was I supposed to go through that? Was I supposed to be a fighter? And I think when you get into this kind of a stage in life at this age and stage, and you have that kind of a and you've literally left your ego back behind, and you're so calm and cool about it that I think it's a bigger accomplishment than winning, like raising his hand as a winner for the fight. And I think Logan also acknowledges that and appreciates that. And I think a lot of people, it gives them a little something, right? Little something. I don't know what. For everyone is a different thing. Austin, how are you, bro? Right? For everyone, but it gives them a little something. For some people, they say, "Oh man, 58-year-old. Oh man, you know." Hey, us in the 50s, we're like, "Oh man, yeah, maybe I should work out a little bit more, stretch a little bit better." You know, for those young, the younger folks, they're like, "Dude, this guy is an old dude, and he just went right." So for everybody, this thing just kind of did a little something. But I love the fact that this man took this seriously, trained for 7 months just for himself. Himself. Like he got in the best shape of his life at 57. I mean, you know, and I thought that was pretty cool. Now, did I really want him to win? Heck yeah, I wanted him to win, man. Who didn't? I mean, if you were a Mike Tyson fan, you're like, oh man, I just want that one punch. But I thought it was an interesting fight. Um, as a Tyson fan, I'm glad that he didn't go down, get bloody, just busted up. I'm so glad. Um, you know, we still watched that. We contributed to the 20 million and the 40 mil. And it was just basically an event. A few people called that out before this, and they said, it's going to be a draw, or it's just going to be no knockdown or knockout, anything like that. It's just going to be a draw. Which, hey, so if you didn't watch the fight, there were I would say the co-main was ridiculous. Like the co-main was ridiculous. The co-main was ridiculous. It was just so good. And then there was a fight before the co-main, I think. No, the first fight of the evening, which was on the main card, and then the co-main. Those two were ridiculously good. And I forget I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, so with that, hopefully you enjoyed. If you watched the fight, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you haven't, hopefully this motivates you to go back and watch it. It's on Netflix. If you have that account, you can check it out. And hopefully you got some love, some inspiration from this live. Remember, I just love the fact that he did this for himself. Like he didn't have to prove it to anybody. And he's all like, you know what, I'm going to train my ass off. And I'm going to go and I'm going to fight this young kid. And I'm not going to listen to anybody. And here we are, right? I think that's cool. I think that's cool. A lot of times we let so much and so many get in our way. And we don't do things. We don't accomplish things. We don't go places because we're just so afraid what other people say. I want to leave you with this thought. If you were 57 and you lived as a fighter your life, would you come back and fight this kind of a fight again? A lot of us wouldn't. A lot of us wouldn't want to put up a fight. A lot of us give in to our own excuses. We pay attention more to what other people say to us. That is not encouraging. It's not like that they're telling you, you can do it. They're telling you, you can't. And we just pay more attention to that. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you all follow back. So many times we do that. This guy at 57 was all like, you know what? Excuse my French. Screw everybody. I'm going to fight. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. I still walk away with 20 mil plus. And who cares what people say? That's freaking powerful. That's like gangster powerful. I wish I had those guts. I really do. Rare. So I hope that you learned something from that. I just love that. I feel like that alone in itself just the fact that he stepped into the ring, I think that was it for me. Like the fact that, okay, he's there. Like he's here, man. Like he's gonna do this thing, right? I think that did it for me. I'm like, holy moly, like this guy doesn't freaking get, he doesn't care what do people say. That's so beautiful. Like he's like ice cold. Like he doesn't care what people say. He doesn't care what the reporters ask him. Doesn't really mind. Just completely blocks every negative thought out. I think that's just. They asked him if he's going to retire. He said no. I said, "Oh my goodness, Mike, please retire. He should retire. He's yeah, he should." With that, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. Drop your thoughts, your comments about the fight. I would love to know what you guys thought. And if you're following me and you're my new followers, I appreciate Sumir. I see you on Facebook. Oh my goodness, I just saw you. Thank you, thank you. If you're my new followers, I appreciate you all. Be sure to follow back. And if you're not following me, why are you not following me? Not follow back. And I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com. And I help folks just like you make some extra money using the internet and social media. If you're open to taking a look, send me a message and I'll share some info with you. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.